sun hangs pale above the town, spilling faded amber on the frozen ground. I pull my heavy jacket closer to my skin, hearing every measured step against the wind. Bare branches scratch softly at the sky, throwing crooked shadows as the hours drift by. Oh, this winter daylight balance is so thin, between the falling cold and the warmth within. My breath curls upward then vanishes away, like proof I'm still alive inside this quiet grave. And while the sky still holds the final light, I'm learning how to sit alone with night. Sprays water on the sleeping roses there. Two strangers pass by, laughing through the air. Coffee and chimney smoke drift down the lane, softening the sharpness of the coming rain. My frozen hands stay buried in my sleeves, thinking about the words I never dared to speak. Oh, this winter daylight balance is so thin, between the falling cold and the warmth within. My breath curls upward then vanishes away, like proof I'm still alive inside this quiet grave. And while the sky still holds the final light, I'm learning how to sit alone with night. The heavens slowly darken into shades of blue, and the distant lamps begin to shimmer through. One more silent corner before the stars appear, holding on to stillness while the dark draws near. My footsteps fade across the empty square. The evening settles softly everywhere. Winter carries whispers old and strange and true, leaving traces of what's ending and what's new. Just a little longer before the city sleeps. Outside the window, the evening hangs in steel, covering the rooftops in a frozen, colorless veil. The street lamps tremble in the sharpening cold as the night creeps in with hands so old. But here beside the fogged up pane, a fragile world still breathes unchanged. Water on the petals, crystal beads in the light, a hidden little jungle surviving the night, while the snow keeps pressing at the edges of the frame. I softly speak a memory, I quietly say your name. Out there the season barely seems alive, but on this windowsill the spring still survives. vapor machine hums a low and sleepy tune, feeding warmth to the vines beneath the moon. I brush against a tiny emerald leaf, a tender act of stubborn disbelief. Green against the white outside below, proof that silent things still grow. Water on the petals, crystal beads in the light, a hidden little jungle surviving the night, while the snow keeps pressing at the edges of the frame. I softly speak a memory, I quietly say your name. Out there the season barely seems alive, but on this windowsill the spring still survives. No icy wind can touch this room tonight, no storm can steal away this fragile life. Roots lie waiting somewhere out of sight, patient in the dark until the world turns bright. Just me and the fern and the mist in the air, while the cold world rages, I'm no longer there. Holding on to quiet while the frozen season fades, waiting for the thaw to come again. Silver faucets sing as the bathtub fills, clouding up the room against the window chill. I leave the day folded beside the door like a heavy coat I don't need anymore. Then I sink beneath the rising waves of heat, where every anxious thought begins to retreat. The floor is cold, but the water glows warm, pulling me away from the edges of the storm. Tracing little letters on the misted glass, watching fading daylight slowly drifting past. It's a silent ceremony, a private release, melting all the tension piece by piece. Only skin and breath in the pale white haze, while the water keeps its slow and tender pace. The faucet keeps tapping, a delicate rhyme echoing softly in the stillness of time. My aching shoulders loosen one by one, like drifting branches underneath the sun. I draw small patterns in the steam again, watching tiny rivers race down the pane. All my restless thoughts blur into the gray as the room fills up and carries them away. tracing little letters on the misted glass, watching fading daylight slowly drifting past. It's a silent ceremony, a private release, melting all the tension piece by piece. Only skin and breath in the pale white haze, while the water keeps its slow and tender pace. No buzzing voices, no flashing lights, just hidden away from the pull of the night, peeling back every version I had to pretend, till I meet the quiet underneath it again. The warmth starts fading, the mirror turns clear, and someone familiar slowly appears. I step out gently with the towel wrapped tight, ready to walk back into the night, cleansed somehow, at least for now. Porcelain cup warming up my hands. The refrigerator hums like a distant band. Tiny clouds of sugar fade into the drink as the evening window slowly darkens pink. An empty page waits beneath the lamp's soft glow, for a feeling buried deep beneath the snow. This is the hardest note I've ever tried to write, listening for answers in the middle of the night. Only the pen scratching breaks the quiet air, while cinnamon steam keeps drifting everywhere. The stillness speaks softly, honest and slow, about all the hidden things I never let show. Start with your name, then erase it again. The black ink spreads like cracks across the rain. How do I explain that time keeps moving on, but some old conversations never really gone? The heater clicks once in the freezing room, while the city outside disappears in gloom. This is the hardest note I've ever tried to write, listening for answers in the middle of the night. Only the pen scratching breaks the quiet air, while cinnamon steam keeps drifting everywhere. The stillness speaks softly, honest and slow, about all the hidden things I never let show. There's no need to rush, the dawn will understand. Some truths only settle when they're written by hand. This cup keeps me grounded, this silence feels kind, like winter has opened a locked sentence sounds honest and clear, tasting faintly of cocoa and forgotten years. I fold up the paper as the last warmth fades away and leave it by the window for the light of day. Just one final sip before I write my name. Morning light slips through the shade. Dust is dancing where I lay. Coffee cooling by the bed. Lazy thoughts inside my head. Outside everything feels new. Silver clouds and skies of blue. I stare down at my glowing phone, wondering if you're awake at home. Type a line and let it fly. Heartbeat rushing for your reply. Then your message cuts right through like the sunlight breaking into view. We were strangers in the same old place. Now everything's begun to change. The air feels lighter than before. Like an open door, wide skies hanging overhead. No directions, just ahead. Funny how a single spark can turn the quiet into art. You say meet me by the park, middle of the afternoon, warm shoes untied. I rush outside, nothing really left to hide. Grass bends softly in the breeze, people laughing through the trees. Simple conversations flow, and nowhere special left to go. Every second feels alive, like the world just came in time. No forever, no demands, just your fingers brushing past my hand. We were strangers in the same old place. Now everything's begun to change. The air feels lighter than before. Like an open door, white skies hanging overhead. No directions, just ahead. Funny how it all can shift from empty days to something rich. Maybe it's a passing phase. Maybe it's just one good day. Still, I'm glad you came around and turned the silence into sound. We're not drifting like before. Something steady at the core. Golden light and open streets. Every little moment speaks. Soft green fields and fading sun. Feels like something's just begun. And it's suddenly so clear. Life feels better with you here. Amber sunlight spills across the aging walls, painting shadows where the evening gently falls. The fire whispers low beneath the chimney stone, like an old familiar voice that brings me home. I lean back into the comfort of the room and let the crowded noise dissolve into the gloom. Warm citrus tea resting in my shaking hands, watching little petals open slow again. In the sweetness of the peach and rosemary, there's a kind of peace that's finally finding me. And I needed this, didn't I? A moment to breathe in this hush of the world. I remember what I need. The novel by my side stays unopened still. Outside the city moves beyond the hill. Rain taps lightly on the frosted glass while a stray cat wanders slowly past. No buzzing phone, no racing thoughts to chase, only quiet warmth filling up the space. Warm citrus tea resting in my shaking hands, watching little petals open slow again. In the sweetness of the peach and rosemary, there's a kind of peace that's finally finding me. And I needed this, didn't I? A moment to breathe in this hush of the world. I remember what I need. The coals burn low with a copper-colored glow, stretching long shadows softly across the floor. No need to run toward tomorrow. Tonight the dark feels tender in the fading light. The evening sky turns violet and gray, and Sunday slowly sighs itself away. Tomorrow I'll step back into the noise somehow, but for this fleeting hour I don't need to move now. I belong here, just quietly here. Paint my name in stories like you know where I belong. Watching shadows through your window, turning silence into songs. But you never really knew me, not the person underneath. You just built a perfect picture from the fragments that you see. And if you think I need you, you got it all confused. And if you think I'm waiting, if you think I need you, you got it all confused. And if you think I'm waiting, you still don't know the truth. You only love the version you created in your mind, but I was never yours to keep, not even for a night. You hold on to illusions while I disappear again, chasing ghosts inside your heartbeat, calling strangers closest friends. But every time you reach for me, I fade beyond the light, a silhouette you can't hold on to, vanishing from sight. You turn my life into a picture hung upon your lonely wall, but I was never truly with you. You never knew me at all. I stumbled on a melody, drifting through the night, a quiet tune that felt so true, like it was born in my mind. I knew you'd hear the feeling inside each simple line, and maybe when the song would end, you'd keep it close inside. Carry little memories of hope and sleepless skies, of chasing light through darker days and dreams that never died. The longer that I played it, the deeper I believed that somehow every note within was speaking back to me. This is the song that found my soul, the one I can't let go. I hope when you hear every word, you'll feel it like I do. This is the sound of open hearts, of stories shining through, and all I ever wanted was to share this song with you. I tried to keep it hidden, afraid to let it fly, unsure if anyone would care or hear what lived inside. But I was only holding a flame I didn't own, just giving life and breathe again to echoes once unknown. Then someone played the record and turned it way up loud. They smiled and sang the chorus line among a laughing crowd, and hearing how you loved it made every fear feel small, because the song I gave away had finally reached us all. The song that found my soul, true.